This podcast is brought to you by Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series. Do you like violence? Do you like smut? Are you tired of the stereotypical novels of werewolf romance out there and want something a little bit different? Then pick up Sparked Revolution, Book 1 in the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Available on Amazon, in Kindle and paperback. You too can become a sponsor of Stories, the True and the Fictional by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. Hello guys and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional. That's right, Stories, the True and the Fictional. We have cancelled the story chat episodes and we're syncing it into the Stories, the True and the Fictional kind of area just to make things less complicated, because we do have a comic book show which you should check out, and we do have an author-ish kind of show that you're just about to find out about now. But you heard the excerpt at the start. We are sponsored by Rebecca Cassells, but we just picked up another sponsor today, didn't we, Ryan?
Yeah, we're raining in the money at the moment. It's just like we can't. I just I've upgraded my wheelchair to the Rolls-Royce model. It's now powered by Rolls-Royce / Lamborghini. It's amazing. I'm very happy.
Got some hydraulics in there, Ryan.
Oh, damn right. You damn right I do. Yeah. I do. So, yeah, yes. Great to hear.
All thanks to Martin Kearns. Thank you, Martin Kearns, for being our next sponsor.
What a guy.
He is. He's been on the podcast many a times.
Yes, he has.
Three times.
Yeah, and our special Christmas episode with Chris as well. That was cool.
Yes, that's correct. But all Martin's information will be in the show notes, so check it out. Mm-hmm. He's a great writer from New York.
Yep.
An American. Did I get your accent right there?
He doesn't sound like a New York. He's like, every time we talk to him, he's actually nice and polite. And there's no, hey, what are you doing here? Get out of here. You know, there's none of that.
I think
he's a lovely boy.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, if you're listening. It's probably because he's from upstate New York. He's from upstate New York. He's not from New York City. He's from the suburbs, the nice areas. Because I follow him. I follow him on Instagram, and he's always got nice shots of trees and leaves falling. And he's not in the heart. Not to go off the rails too much here, but you know the comic book, the Ninja Turtle comic book, where the turtles leave the city and they go to Northampton. Yes. He's probably there. He's probably in the farm somewhere. But we're not here to talk about. I'm actually gonna. I have my iPad here, so I'm gonna plug him in a second once I can pull up his beautiful books. Okay.
Because I've read them. I've read them both multiple times.
Well, while you're pulling that up, why don't we introduce our guest who's been so politely sitting there?
I forgot about that.
LBE Hackney, thank you for coming on. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm really excited about today.
Are you excited or are you scared?
Both. I'm blinking twice, which means I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. Don't forget, if you're being held against your will, blink twice or hold up the number 3. That's how it works.
Yeah, this sounds consensual.
Yeah.
Well, look, before we dive into the icebreakers and more about Martin Kearns, our new sponsor, my favourite question is, who is LBE Hackney?
Oh, someone who, in a really, really yucky year, actually discovered the power of storytelling and how storytelling can actually save your life. And after sort of immersing myself in stories and self-publishing, I've just grown in the community talking to others by knowing how they've gotten to where they are. And I'm so intrigued by it all that I started a YouTube channel, and here I am. So I'm just really, really nosy.
Awesome.
And then we're going to flip that on you today, and we're going to be really nosy and find out all about you and your story and how you sort of became interested in all this kind of stuff. So, yes, so we're going to turn the tables. So I hope you're prepared.
Bring it. I'm so ready.
Bring it. Are you going to plug Martin right now?
Yeah,
Ryan?
I most certainly am. So Martin's got 2 amazing books. My memory is not the greatest, so I don't think that I haven't read them. I've read them twice. They're amazing. So his first book is Beneath the Veil, which is in Kindle Unlimited at the moment. So if you're part of that group, you can definitely check that out. His new book is Sands of Akara. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Martin. I'm sorry if I didn't. That is also available on Kindle Unlimited, but you can buy those on Amazon, or I believe directly through his website as well. So make sure you check it out. So as I said, that's Beneath the Veil and Sands of Akara are part of a trilogy that he's working on at the moment. So check those books out. It's really good if you love your fantasy, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, if you're into fantasy and mythical creatures and all of that kind of thing. You definitely love those books. So make sure you check them out. Hopefully Martin's happy with that.
Link in the show notes, guys. Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes.
But now, Ryan, it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
You like certain icebreakers. So do you want to start, or you want me to start, or? Yeah,
I was looking at them. As I do, I did my research about 5 minutes before we started this podcast. So I'm going to start I'm going to go questions 1, 3, and 5, my usual hunting ground. Getting back to normal. I know I've mixed it up lately, but so the first question I have for you, Al, is if you could get rid of one thing in this world, what would it be? Now, I'm going to give you 2 answers. I know a lot of people like to be politically correct and go, let's get rid of fighting and war and all that. So you can do that one. And then also give me the real answer, because I know that if it was up to me, as you'll learn, I don't have a filter. So I would not even say any of that. If we could get rid of one thing in this world, I would say price increases on comic books would be for me. But I remember back in my day, I used to be able to pay $2.99 for a comic book, and now you're charging me $7.99 for the same comic book, and you wonder why I download them illegally. So there you go. So yes,
if you get rid of one thing, in my day, you had me in my day.
Back in my, I'm 42 now, so I can technically say back in my day and still be. So we can say it. Jamie's only a year behind me, a year or two behind me, so you can say it too. Almost. We're coming up to your birthday. So
yes.
Brian, does this mean we can say to Jamie, respect your elders?
Technically, I say that all the time, but then he really knows me, so there's no need for respect there at all, because we've known each other for a very, very long time. But yeah, so getting back to it, if you could get rid of one thing in this world, what would it be? And you can give us 2 answers if you like.
Okay, because I was thinking about that when I read the questions, and Shoulder Angel, number 1, went, you should get rid of hunger. And I went, yes, everyone should go to bed on a full stomach. So yeah, Shoulder Angel number 1 was hunger. But then the other one went, Lauren's fear of heights is absolutely stupid. And I would love a world without that, because I've been in situations where, have you guys ever climbed Mount Coolum by any chance on the Sunshine Coast?
Jamie's a climber. Jamie's a good climber. You just did Kosciuszko not long ago, didn't you?
Oh.
That's more of a walk, Kosciuszko.
This is a walk, but it just so happened that on the descent, it's like this, right? And you can only see a few meters ahead of you. And my kids just went vroom, they were happy to run down that mountain. And I'm not okay with it. So I cowered down. And for the people coming back down the cliff, right, it looked like my husband had hit me or something, because I just started to cower. And he's just like, what are you doing, babe? Get up, what are you doing? And it looked, I didn't know it at the time, but it looked really bad from behind. And everyone went, what'd you do to upset her? And it's I know. So when I got to the base, tears all and all that, Jeff's she has a fear of heights, everyone. So, I'm kind of the world would be a better place without mountains and my fear of heights.
No, I support. I have a fear of heights too, and I had to. I've never done any climbing or anything, but me and my dad went to New Zealand, and he forced me to go to the Sky Tower in Auckland, which is one of the highest points in the country. He made me go outside. I'm happy that I did go outside, but I will fully admit that I was clinging onto the bars like there was no tomorrow. But I felt like I'd kind of conquered a little bit of that fear by going out. Whereas my dad just out there hanging off the side taking photos. He's not afraid of anything. So he made me go out there. I went outside, so I'm very happy. I was on the highest viewing point in the Sky Tower in Auckland. So that kind of diminished a little bit of my fear of heights. So I fully believe.
You can't fall off the floor, Brian.
No, you can't. Exactly. And you know what? It's funny that we talk about that, because I'm going through that at the moment. I recently, probably about 3 months, had a really bad fall on my prosthetic leg, and I have a fear of falling now, and I'm actually having to work through that with my physiotherapist. So I'm kind of set myself back a little bit because I'm afraid that I'm going to fall every time I stand up. So I completely agree with your getting rid of those kind of fears would make life a hell of a lot better. So I can 100% agree with that.
I wouldn't. I like climbing mountains.
Yeah, you do it every time. Jamie loves climbing mountains.
There's one in every group, Ryan.
Oh, there is, definitely.
For those who like climbing mountains, check out a doco on Disney Plus called Free Solo.
No. Swipe left.
Alex Honnold. Yeah. No, that's a great story. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, my kids made me watch it.
My dad's the same. Like, I got him the book instead of making him watch the doco because he'd be like freaking out. It's impressive. Anyway, what's something on your bucket list?
Oh, I'm glad you like this one. No, because I more have it's not like a bucket list. It's more like a skip list. So the day I turned 30, I actually started my 40 things to do before 40, and I got so conditioned for trying new things that I ended up doing 45 things by my 40th birthday. So I'm now doing 50 before 50. And when people say, what's on your bucket list, I'm kind of like, right, once you really start writing down what you want to do and you get used to doing new things all the time, it's amazing what comes onto that list. So I've done some weird shit. Guys, what's on your bucket list?
I don't really have one. I not me. I kind of thought like Kosciuszko was sort of, and then it kind of like was so underwhelming. Look, the view was great, but I just spent a week in Hall's Gap out in the Grampians climbing mountains, and then Kosciuszko was you take a chairlift up, and then you walk kind of uphill-ish for 6 kilometers, and then you're there. You know, it was just like.
You were just disappointed that the highest restaurant in there was closed.
Oh, there's that, yeah. But there was the highest toilet, which didn't look very sanitary either.
No, it looked like a bomb shelter.
it pretty much was. But yeah.
You're waiting for like the guy from Fallout to walk out of it and say, this is the new life. I'll tell you, I got two things on my bucket list, all right? One is I'm a big wrestling fan, so I absolutely love my pro wrestling. So I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to go to WrestleMania in America once before I die, and I also want to go to Comic-Con in New York City before I die. I know it originated in San Diego, and that's the big SDCC one. But to me, I would like to go to the New York one in the Javits Center because there's so much to do in New York. You know, you've got Times Square right there. You've got Midtown Comics, which is the biggest and most famous comic book shop in the world, is actually just down the street. There's so much to do there. I would just absolutely love to go to Comic-Con before I leave this earth. So that's my two things that I really want to do before I pass on.
Hey, Ryan, can I overshare for a minute?
Sure. That's what we're all about.
You know John Cena?
I do not personally, but yes, I do. I haven't seen him for a long time because you can't see him, but yeah.
No,
yes,
I actually. So when he was getting out of wrestling and then into acting, his movie The Marine was being shot in Brisbane, and I was actually an extra on the set, and I spent like a week with him.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm out.
No,
That's not fair.
If you look at the movie The Marine, and there's an office scene.
I've seen it,
of course you have. But if you look for this face in the background in the office, in one of the offices, that's me. And like,
oh wow,
yeah. So, and there were other scenes that were cut, but as soon as she said wrestling, I'm like, I need to drop that bomb.
Apparently, he's a super nice guy too. Apparently, he's a really nice dude.
Oh yeah. He would just sing Green Day with the extras.
Nice. Wow. Oh well, that yeah. I have to say we were watching when we were watching WrestleMania the other day. Me and my wife Stephanie. I yelled out, "Oh my God, it's John Cena!" And she yelled out, "Oh my God, it's Ricky Stenicki," because she knows him from the movies more than the wrestling.
It's the guy from Blockers.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. But that's awesome. That's my only claim to fame is there's a wrestler who's sort of mid card. He's held the title a few times called The Miz, Mike Mizanin, and I actually met him when he was out here. He was out here doing promotion, and he went to the West Tigers field in Concord. I'm a big West Tigers fan, and I was actually there at the open day, and I got to meet him and shake hands and get a photo with him. So that's my and also actually I tell a lie. My biggest connection is I actually have a mate that I went to school with that is currently the WWE Tag Team Champion. He's actually wrestling in America. I tried to get him on this podcast, but unfortunately he said WWE have a strict media process that they have to follow, and they're not allowed to go on any podcast or interview that is not WWE media.
Endorsed,
so we were going to get him on the podcast up until WrestleMania week, and he won the tag team title. So that's my connection. I used to sit next to him in roll call. So he actually had to listen to a few episodes. So Maddie, if you're listening, keep up the good work. So there we go.
My claim to fame is I got a fist bump from Will Arnett. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. That's pretty awesome. I love Will Arnett. There's not a bad thing that Will Arnett has done, from Job in Arrested Development to Lego Batman to Vernon in Ninja Turtles. He hasn't done a bad thing. I just love his voice too. It's perfect. Yeah. So awesome. See, there we go.
There you go.
We all have a little bit of a claim to fame. I'm going to watch The Marine tonight now. I'm going to keep my eye out for you. Yeah, why not? I think they're all on Prime, so I'm going to watch and I'm going to go, hey, I know that lady. So there you go.
There you go.
I'll check it out.
What's the next question,
that's the longest answer to that question that we've had. So the next one is one of my favorite questions. Now, again, you can give two answers. You can give like what you think is and then your favorite. So in your opinion, what is the greatest sitcom that was ever been made? And again, you can give us what you think the greatest is based on, what the world thinks. And then you can also give it your favorite if that is not your favorite.
Oh, no, I'm totally going to throw my workplace under the bus. Superstore. Every time I watch Superstore, I'm like, I work with you people. It's like every character that is on that show, some of them trigger me where I'm like, I can't deal with that. But yeah, for me, it's Superstore because there's a personality there in my workplace.
Well, I suppose that's something that you can relate. It's a great show. I found I came into it late when it was. I think I was up to the last season, so we got to watch it all. I think that's a great show, and I think it holds up. But obviously, you've got that personal connection to it. I always feel like if you can connect to a show like that, you're going to love it just that little bit more. So I must say, we're watching Modern Family at the moment. So we're up to the last season. This is my third watch through. And Steph refuses to watch the last episode because she doesn't want to believe it's over. So yeah, Modern Family is my favorite. I would say at the moment, it's all round. You got the guy Ty Burrell who plays Phil, the dad, should have won so many awards. It's not funny because he makes that show hilarious. But yeah, that's a very good answer. I can accept Superstore, and we won't end the interview here.
Get out!
I have been known to bar people just based on their answer to that question. So.
Well, it's really, you know what? Like, I feel like a failing parent sometimes because my son, he just got his red belt in mixed martial arts. So he's only like red belt 2, and then he goes for his junior black belt. So he's watching Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like counting the moves going, I can do that one, I can do that one, I can do that one. I'm like, not in here, you can't.
That's a great show.
100%. That's an amazing show. I think we're getting the last season coming soon, of the very, very last season. But I love the fact that they were able to bring those characters back, but not in a way where you're like, oh, it's just for show. You know what I mean? Like bring back John Kreese and bring back if I forget the name of the bad guy from Karate Kid 3, but bring all these characters back, but also not overdoing it, not going hey, here this is John Kreese, or this is what I mean, like this is Dan, they find a way to do it where it just flows with the story. So that's another good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Very good show.
All right, what's your zombie apocalypse plan?
A really inappropriate one, Jamie.
What, using your son to as in his martial arts skills
as a human shield?
No, bro, if you can't beat him, join him. I plan on getting so much horse tranquilizer and just like walking around like this. I'll blend in real good. Like, I'm wearing makeup for today, and I plan on taking off the mask. And I'll play along. Just give me some of that horse tranquilizer.
So a little Bill Murray from Zombieland.
Yeah. or you can do what the Walking Dead do. They just, you cover yourself in zombie guts, and then they won't attack you. If you just find a zombie that's dead, cover yourself to head to toe in the blood and guts, you'll be fine. Just think it's makeup.
Bunking with you, Ryan. I'm bunking with you.
I'm going to Bunnings. Don't you worry about that. I'll be in Bunnings, and I will have every chainsaw. I will have anyone who wants to come to Bunnings. We will literally form an army, and I'll be like Negan, and we will take over the world. And
my son will be with you.
That's fine by me. I'll take a second level red belt on my side anytime. Because it doesn't matter if you chop the heads off with a foot or with a saw. It doesn't matter. They're still dead.
That kills a kill.
Exactly. And then we will develop a new society and run the world the way it should be run.
Oh.
That's a massive dig at the Australian government. Yeah, they can go and get stuffed. I could run this country better than half those morons. But anyway, enough about me. See what happens when I'm on pain medication? It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's tea in this glass.
I see what you're saying. I got a fractured spine, so I got the good stuff. Doesn't make me loopy. It just lets me be me, as opposed to like a dribbling mess where I'm just like, I can't do this. So I'm very happy.
I got teenagers.
To do that.
This is how we do.
I get you. Okay, that's fine by me. But all right, we're gonna hit you with the last question. Okay, this one's a good one. This is one of my favorites as well, which is why I pick it. So Elon Musk gives you a call and offers you to test drive his new electric time machine. What do you do and where do you go? Now, just to let you know, you do have a button on your arm that you push. It will bring you back to the exact same time as when you left. So there's no butterfly effects, nothing like that. It will bring you back to the exact moment where you left. But what would you do and where would you go? Would you go back? Would you go forwards? What would you like to do if you had that time?
Okay, science is not my strong suit, but I wanted to know, are parallel universes part of it? Because, it would be one of those things where you go, if you're going that quickly and you can blast through time, can you blast through multiverses? Why just go back to BC and ride a raptor? Do you know what I'm saying? I would like to conquer a world nowhere else has been. Like, if we have to talk in colors, I'm there. That's kind of, when I read that question, I was like, well, I knew how, the Jurassic and different dinosaur ages worked out. I'm like, other than trying to fit in with those guys, I went, what else is available? But Ryan, I'd love to know your answer to this one.
But look, see, I knew this was going to happen. You're turning this into your own show right now. You're trying to hijack this podcast, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm a big conspiracy theory guy, and I would go back to the JFK assassination, and I want to know what actually happened. Well, I want to know, was Magneto responsible? I want to know I want to know what happened. I would be happy if I knew what happened and come back. That would be awesome.
Are we talking Kevin Bacon Magneto? Is that the Magneto we're talking about?
No, Kevin Bacon actually wasn't Magneto. He was a guy called Sebastian Shaw. I know he wore a helmet that looked like Magneto's, but wasn't Magneto
Oh,
because I'm a comic book nerd. So yeah, he wasn't. If you Google the Hellfire Club and Sebastian Shaw, you'll find out all about Kevin. He basically, he's got a power where you can say, for example, you had a nuclear weapon and you dropped it on him. He will absorb that power and give it back to you tenfold. That's his powers. So it's pretty damn impressive. That's why he's such a prevalent villain in the X-Men universe. But yeah, I just would want to know what happened. I want to know what happened to the JFK assassination, even if I couldn't tell anyone, just for me to know personally, because I put so many hours into researching and watching, documentaries and stuff on the JFK assassination. I want to know what happened. So yeah, that's where I'd go. I'd put me on the grassy knoll in 1969, and I want to know what happened. Yeah, just that. I'm nothing special. But, I suppose if I couldn't do that, I'd like to go back to 1984 and attend the very first WrestleMania. I witnessed your birth, and then I'll also go to WrestleMania because it's actually in the same month in that year. But I'd like to see the very first WrestleMania because it's in the wrestling community. It's the night of nights. It's like the grand final. I'd like to see Vince McMahon, as much as he's a hated figure right now because of all the allegations, which I completely think he's an arsehole now. But he actually if WrestleMania 1 didn't work, there would be no WWE right now. So he was all in, and I can respect that. He put it all in. And he gave it every single cent that he had. He would literally have nothing in his bank after this. And now it's become a source of happiness for me, especially in the last year where I've had such a really shit year, pardon my French. But wrestling, and I know it's corny, but wrestling has actually helped me so much. It's something I share with Steph. She's gotten into it too, and we watch it together. And it just made me feel so happy. So I guess I would like to go and see the very first WrestleMania in 1984, and then of course take a stop and witness the birth of a genius in Jamie Bryden. So
I am curious, Ryan, if I may, if you could,
I told you, taking over.
But if you could be a wrestler, what would your character be?
If I've already got this plan, don't you worry about that. It'll be a character called Primal Rage, and I would have more like a demonic look, kind of like in the vibe of The Undertaker, but a little bit more full on. I would have like a mask made by some of the guys that make the best horror movies. I would have this twisted demon mask on my face that I'll be able to keep on while I'm wrestling, and have like a hairy chest suit kind of thing. And my character would be Primal Rage, basically an angel that's fallen from heaven that got sent to hell, not Lucifer. I'm not saying I'm Satan, but I was one of those ones that was fighting and managed to claw my way back up to Earth, and the only way I can stay on Earth is to win the WWE title. That's me. Primal Rage. And my finishing maneuver is called the execution, and so yeah, I've already played this many times. But yes, that's what I would be.
Yeah, I can't compete with that. That's amazing.
That's a very easy question for me because I've been planning that since I was 7 years old. So yeah, I always thought I could get into wrestling, but I will stick with knowing a fair few wrestlers. As I said, my good mate, not good mate, I spoke to him last week, but my mate Grayson Waller, aka Matty Wahlberg, that went to school with me, and I know a fair few. I'm actually going to an event. They might like a plug. I'll tag him in the post. AWF is having AWF Mania on May the 4th at Stanhope Garden. A couple of my mates are wrestling, so I'm going to head down there. It's my first actual outing in about 6 months since I got out of hospital, so I'm actually really excited for that. I'm going to be ringside. I'm going to be ringside front row VIP. So yeah, I'm keen for that. So wrestling is very important to me, and I'm so lucky that I have friends like Jamie and Chris and Michael that don't really judge me too much for it. So
no, I love that. If anything, that's a layer that just makes you so much more interesting and intriguing there, Ryan.
Well, honestly, there's I don't want to make this about me, but this last year has probably been the worst year I've had in my entire life. And if it wasn't for Jamie, Chris, and Mike, and wrestling, and Stephanie, I wouldn't be here. and I know this is getting morbid. I'll promise I'll get us back up there. But I can guarantee you, I wouldn't be talking to you right now because I wouldn't be here because it does get that bad that when you can't understand it unless you go through it. When I lost my leg, I lost a part of myself that I'm never going to get back. And I'm a positive guy. Jamie knows I'm the most positive guy in the world, and everything's going to be fine. But there were dark times where I wanted to take my life. And if it wasn't for Jamie, it wasn't for Chris, it wasn't for Michael, and it wasn't for Stephanie, but four people that care about me more than I deserve, I would, and wrestling, because that was my go-to when I felt sad and I wanted to cry. I would put on old wrestling matches and that would bring me right back. So that's enough of the morbid stuff. These guys know how much they helped me this year, and I'm on the mend. I'm positive. I'm happy. I'm going to walk again soon. I'm sweet. But yeah, that's just a little insight. I know you were going to turn this into your podcast, so there you go. So
no, because I actually can relate to you. I like not losing my limbs, but I almost lost my husband, and I can relate to you. And I was actually going to ask the question of, see, I refuse to have so much heartbreak be my main source of memories, where I turned to writing, right? And I'm curious to know, with your journey, losing your leg and going through what you've been through, did you fill your memories with positive memories because you didn't want to look back and just focus on all that darkness?
100%. I lost my leg in April of last year, so it's almost a year. April 18th. So we're like 7 days off a year since I lost my leg, and it was a sudden thing. I literally I was out the front doing a little bit of work in the garden, and I just went barefoot. And you don't think it, Jamie. You'll go barefoot outside. You don't think about these kind of things. You're out there. I was just grabbing a few things to put in the bin, tidying a few things up. Got a cut on my foot, and I used to be an Uber driver, and I said I did Uber until about midday, which is it's unusual for me. I normally do it all day. And I came home to Steph, and I said, "Geez, I'm really not feeling well." And that's weird because I never get sick. I literally never get sick. And anyway, she had a look at the cut. She said, "Look, it's not bad. Let's just cover it up." Next day, I stayed in bed all day, and that's not me at all. I'm not one to stay in bed. She had a look at the wound. It was getting worse, but this was the Easter long weekend. So we said, okay, cool. We'll go to the doctors on Tuesday, just get some antibiotics. I had some antibiotics here, so I started taking them. The next day, I was in and out, and she looked at it, and it was black. It was gangrenous. An infection got into my blood. And there's only two ways you can really die from an infection: if it gets into your bone or if it gets into your blood. So I went straight to hospital. They said, we need to amputate part of your foot and some of your toes. I said, go for it. They did that surgery. That was unsuccessful. The infection was too bad. And they said, look, Ryan, this was just me. Steph was in the waiting room. They said, Ryan, we need to take your leg or you're going to die. And I said, well, that's no question. Take my leg. And I remember, it's funny. There's a little bit of a funny thing with this. Steph came in and she's like, they're not taking your leg. And I said, Steph, if they don't take my leg, I'm not here in half an hour to an hour. You know what I mean? And she's like, but they can't take your leg. They can't take. And we laugh about it now because she's like, it's so stupid. Because, she's like, I much rather have lost part of my leg and still be here to talk to you guys about it than actually, not be here at all. But, it's been a crazy year, but I've made friends in the amputee community. I've met some of the best social workers, support workers, physiotherapists that work for the public health system that get paid peanuts by our government, and they still care. They don't just show up from 8:30 till 5 and just go, yep, I'm just going to do this. I have a physio that has worked with me for a year named Cameron, and he is the best. He's now a friend of mine. I can text him and just wish him a happy birthday or whatever. He has not given up on me. No matter the amount of sessions I've cancelled because I'm too depressed, or the amount of sessions I've cancelled because I'm in that much pain I can't move, and he's always there pumping me up. The public service nurses especially and physiotherapists and everything, they don't get enough recognition. But yeah, look, I filled my journey. I filled that space in my heart that I was depressed initially for about a week. I told Steph, don't come and visit. I wouldn't let these guys come and visit me. Not that they all offered, and I said, no, I don't want you to see me in hospital. I don't like people seeing me at my weakest. And so Steph and my dad were the only people that I let come and visit me in hospital. And Steph would always make sure that I had plenty of wrestling to watch, that I had plenty of comics to read, and that I had my video game system. So I had my Switch at the first time, and the second time I went into hospital for complication, I had my computer, which she can't without. We have no money, and she kindly let me get a loan to get a gaming computer because she knows how much that means to me, to take my mind off things and to make me happy. Jamie can attest to that. We're gamers. Me and him are true gamers because we're completionists. We like to finish a game 100% where our other mates don't. They'll just play it through. So
I'm so glad my kids
hospital.
are not here to listen to this. They'll be like, Mom, see?
Well, I spent so many hours in hospital when I was in agony and I couldn't have any more pain meds, just playing Resident Evil or playing Final Fantasy or playing Spider-Man or playing whatever on my computer just to take my mind off things. And you know what? I'm a better person for that because I made it out the other end. And I've still got a hell of a lot of work to do, but I made it out the end. I'm home. I have the equipment I need here to live my life. My support coordinator out of his own pocket built me a ramp because he knew that I was stuck inside because I couldn't get outside because of how bad my pain and my loss of my limb was. $3,000 he spent. That's money that he's not going to recover to build a ramp because he wants me to get out and be like that's how much these people care. And but yeah, look, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm not have bad thoughts in a very long time. I have the love and support of my friends and my family, and to me that's all I need. And yeah, so. And that's why I'm back. I took some time off from these interviews because I didn't want to do it in hospital. I thought I did one of them in hospital. I think was my last week in hospital the first time, but I didn't want to do it because I was too ashamed. I was too weak. I was in pain, and that's not me. Jamie's known me for a very long time. We were in bands that played together, and he knows the real me. He knows the happy, positive, funny Ryan, and I refuse to come on these podcasts or if I can't be that person. So yeah, I'm sorry to hijack that section, but
that's all her. She flipped it.
Yeah,
she flipped it.
I know. I've never really spoken about that on the podcast of what actually happened, and I can have a laugh about it. I can have a laugh and say, look, I came out of hospital and I've actually lost more weight. Jamie can probably see my face as well. I've lost more weight being in a hospital, and I came out of hospital and my dad saw me and he's like, "Oh, you've lost weight," and I said, "Yeah, I lost about 7 kilos off my lower leg." I can joke about it. I can make jokes about that, and that's when you know that things are going to be okay. And with Steph, God, she's a guardian angel. I'm gonna, like, Jamie knows, but I may as well let you know too. I'm actually gay, and Steph was my wife. We are still married. She's my best friend, my best female friend. She looks after me in ways that no one could ever see. She empties my wee bottles. She helps me get changed, and she helps me in ways that no one can ever help me, and I'm forever in debt to her. And I'm getting better for her and for my friends and for my people that reach out to me on Facebook. Like I have Martin Kearns. God, that man is I would give him a free sponsorship, to be honest with you, because while I was in hospital, that man, me and him were talking, and he lives in the US, so the time zones are off. So he would stay up talking to me about fantasy stuff and books and stuff like that while I was in hospital. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night over here, and it was early morning over there, and we would talk. And that man, I found so many. I never believed that people care, and this happened, and people care. I set up a GoFundMe, and we raised $1,200. Jamie shared it, Steph shared it, we all shared it, just to help keep the rent paid while I was in the hospital, and it did. I paid a month's worth of rent thanks to the generosity of people that actually give a shit. And yeah, anyway, let's just stop this now because I'm going to get emotional.
Sorry, no, Ryan, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's totally cool.
I appreciate you talking like that, because anyone who's been through a major trauma who has chosen to change their memory bank by, like you said, you're in hospital, you chose to game. You know, you forged friendships with people in other countries by phone. Yep. You will look back and have those as sunshine memories rather than the darkness. And it's 100%. One of those. Yeah, and that's why I can relate to you, because I didn't lose a limb, but I had a really horrible year, and I turned it around by storytelling, and that is the only reason why I'm here. So thank you so much for sharing so much.
No, look, I'm really glad that people can find that. And I used to write. I used to be the songwriter for my band. So for 20 years I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. But that was song lyrics, and that was me getting my soul out. So I can't write a book. I've tried so many times. I just can't write. I'm not a long-term writer, you know what I mean? But what I can do is I was rooming with this guy named Michael, who I'm still friends with, and he was unfortunately in a motorbike accident where he lost his whole right leg, and he had really bad scars down his left leg, and they put us together because I was so positive, and he wouldn't go to rehab, he wouldn't go to physio, whatever. I made him go. I said, "Come on, dude, we're going to go down to physio. We're going to go together. We're in the same physio class. We have the same physiotherapist." And he actually told me he's back at work now. He's got his truck. He's a truck driver. He got his truck converted so that he can drive with his prosthetic. He's back at work now, and he messages me all the time saying he was going to just die in the hospital room. You know, he was going to lay there and he was going to die in the hospital room. And if it wasn't, his brother tells me all the time, if it wasn't for me getting him motivated and showing him what we can do with one leg, I would show him what we can do. I would show him how to get him to a couch with one leg without a prosthetic. I would show him. And he started coming out to the day room and sitting on the couch. And we would talk, we would watch footy. Friday nights, we would watch the football together. We would go out to the day room, a whole group of us amputees in physio. We'd watch the football and laugh. And for that couple of hours, we'd feel normal. And he thanks me all the time. He said, he's back at work. He's building a house. Like he never would be able to do that if it wasn't for our connection. And I said, mate, I didn't do that. You did that. I just made your ass come to physio. And I wasn't taking no for an answer. And I said to him, he was doing stuff on the computer. I said, I'm a very intelligent person on computers and hacking and stuff. I said, I will fuck your shit up, pardon my French, if you don't come to physio. And I didn't mean that. I would never do that. But it got him laughing and down to physio. And now look, he's got a $220,000 leg thanks to insurance, and he's thriving. And I could not be happier for the man. And he sends me messages every day. So, yeah.
Ryan, can you not hack my computer? Because you're just going to find lots of cake recipes and you're going to see my son's
I hate to say it. I'm not working at the moment, and I'm doing nothing but, like, I'm at home all the time except for physio and stuff like that. But I'm finding there's not enough hours in the day, even though I'm not working. And there's just not enough hours in the day to get shit done. So you're safe. I'm not going to hack your computer. I promise. No fingers crossed yet. The only reason I'd hack Jamie's computer is to put myself in a character in your book. That's all.
Is that how you turned up in my book?
Yeah, that's it, man. That's how I turned up in one of your books, and how the fans love me and they want me in your next two books. But anyway, no. Let's get back on track. One last thing I will say, and I don't mean to stroke his ego, but there was one person who messaged me every day when I was in hospital, and that was Jamie, just to check up on me and see how I was doing. There was a time where I was really short on money, and the man stepped up, and not only did he lend me money, he also donated to my GoFundMe, which I can't wait to pay back when I start working again. But he was always there every time we didn't have enough money for food on our plates. Jamie would help me out because he's that kind of guy, and that means more to me than anything. So thank you, Jamie, for everything. I can't wait, now that I'm not stuck in the house anymore and I've mastered my ramp, I can't wait to physically hang out with you again. It's going to be amazing.
It'll be the hydraulics.
Oh, 100%. I'm bouncing in there like I'm Ice Cube. You know all about that.
In 1932, the Australian Army declared war on 20,000 emus and lost. It's a part of Australian history that not many know about. Maybe that's because history is written
by those who win. So if you want to hear the full story of the Great Emu War of 1932, then check out my book, Letters from the Emu War. Read letters, newspaper articles, and journal entries. With every turn of the page, you will gain a deeper understanding of the life and times of emus at war. So head on over to jabryden.com and grab a signed copy today.
But anyway, now it's my turn to hijack this podcast. Now we're going to talk about you. So what we'd like to do, obviously, yeah, we touched on your writing, but I wanted to find out about your YouTube channel and what you like to do there. You've mentioned a little bit, but I'd like to talk about that and just go through how that all started, and what kind of how does it help you as well as helping other people that you're talking to?
Because I'm really nosy, Ryan.
I know.
I really
Well, we've only been recording for about half an hour, and I've only met you for half an hour, and you've already got me to bare my deepest, darkest secrets.
You're welcome. No, it's just like, okay, so once I self-published my books because every publisher I sent them to had rejected them, and I was really naive, and I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. Okay, like I didn't go to university and study writing. I wrote because I had a shitty year, right? And when I had these books and I had all these people say to me, oh, they're so good, and I got nowhere, I then started to want to know, how did people get to where they are? And I learned there's lots of people like me who have so many stories to tell and they don't know how to start. So I just started reaching out to people. I originally started by an email where I would print out, I would do up like a written interview and put it on my socials. But then when I learned more about the industry, five questions is not enough. It's more like half an hour, get on my show. And it's now I'm learning and spreading the word of, being a writer, illustrator, anyone in the industry, it's not like your normal corporate gig where you walk into your boss's office and you go, hey, how do I get to that next step? And your boss will go, okay, well, you have to do boom, boom, boom. Right, okay, next step. Okay, now how do I get there? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
No, this is a hot mess, okay? It can be anything from a manuscript assessment to a slush pile to an agent to a competition to, I've had a publisher actually say to me, no, I scroll Instagram all the time for illustrators. So she's sourcing them. And I'm just someone who I don't like to keep information to myself. If I know something, I want the world to know it, whether they like it or not. So I like to just honestly have anyone on my show share what they know so everyone else can know, because it's a tough slog to get your books out there.
Yep. 100%. And I think that's why we started this as well. We initially started it because we used to do a podcast, Dungeons and Dragons podcast, that Jamie spent more time editing than we actually spent recording. And it was a bit too much for us all. So, but Jamie, he mentioned it first, and I kind of swiveled my way onto the podcast because I love doing it. And we wanted to talk about stories that it's something different. And then when we wanted to get authors on like yourself, we're not in this for the cash. We want to get your books into people's hands so that more people can read stories they may not know about. I every time someone asks me for a recommendation, and this is not just because he's my friend, I plug Jamie's book and I plug Martin Kern's book, because they're my kind of books. Like Jamie's Emu War book is freaking amazing. I've got 5 copies of it. I've got the first one with the tiny text from Amazon, then I've got the retext, and then I got the new cover. And I don't care. I've got it digitally. I own it twice digitally. I don't know how that happened, but I love it. And we want more. That's why we started this podcast. We want people to more eyes. Look, if 100 people watch this interview, right? 100 people watch it, and 4 people buy your book, I'm happy. I want more, but that means that we've helped get your book into the hands of 4 people that may not have thought of it initially. And that's why we do this, and that's why I love this. Why, no matter what.
or if someone's having a tough time, because Brian, like, there are so many people out there who I've sort of said, okay, so this is a bit shit right now, but you know, if you could do something with it, sometimes journaling, that's how I wrote an adult piece. Was I wrote about what happened to my family, which was a bit rubbish, and my girlfriend actually suggested to me in the infancy of it to write down my thoughts, and it turned out the more I wrote it and the more I edited it and then the more I changed identities, the more I could actually I felt better. I felt better for releasing my thoughts. And then before you knew it, I had a manuscript. And like yourself, you kind of go, well, if anything's going to come out of a crappy situation, sure, you don't have to buy my book. But if you've got some crap happening, something can come out of it. Please don't think that this is the end.
100%. And reading is a big thing for me, and I know it's a big thing for Jamie as well. You know, I've been a massive reader of comics and of books. Like, mainly books were what got me started in it. And we jokingly say the reason we have authors on here is so I will buy their book, and it hasn't failed yet. I don't think we've had one guest where I actually haven't bought their book, because I really enjoy it. Like, there's some like, as I said, Martin Kearns, I'm not doing this just because he's sponsoring us. His books are amazing, and they have the ability to take me into a world for 2 hours a night where I can forget about everything and just live in that world for 2 hours a night. Then I turn it off and I just go to sleep, and I don't worry about things for a couple of hours. You know what I mean? Like, we've all got shit that we need to do during the day, like, regardless of whether you're in a situation like mine, a situation like yours, or even a situation like Jamie, where he's got to go to work and he's got to keep earning money, and you know, we've all got problems and we all need that escape. And for us, reading is one of those escapes, and that is why I was so on board for these interviews, and which is why I push and I push and I push through my pain to get up on these interviews, because I know how important they are, and I know that sometimes my jokes can sell books, and I hope they do, because you guys deserve your hard-earned books and your hard-earned time, because it doesn't take 2 days to write a book. You know what I mean? It can take up to a year, 2 years to actually get everything done. And that's coming from a person who knows a little. I only know from Jamie's experience, but it's something that you pour your passion, your love, your blood, sweat, and tears into. And even if one person says, yeah, not for me, that's cool, because you might have two people say, wow, this is actually so good, I can't wait for the next one. And that's what you want. And that's what we want to achieve. And Jamie will agree, wouldn't you? You know, that's why we do this. We don't care about the money. You know, I'm not going to say, if someone offered us 10 grand to do the podcast, I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. But that's not why we're here. We've never been in it to make money. I'm glad we have the sponsors, because it covers our costs so that we can do this for free, and it's not coming out of Jamie's pocket. You know what I mean? We can do this. And as I said, because I'm stuck in the house, this is my only interaction with people, and it makes me very happy. And as I said, I will definitely, and I'll definitely be grabbing your book if it's on Amazon. It's just coincidentally that we interviewing you when I got paid today. So, no,
well, you have two to choose from. There is the book I created with my children. It's actually their bedtime story. So how that came about was I lost my aviation job during COVID. It was really shit. And when you said you didn't have enough money, I understand that, because I suddenly went from a job that earned me this much to that much, and we weren't making it meet.
And that would have affected massively, because COVID, I mean, you've got to think about the people that it's going to really affect, people like yourself, the aviation industry. You're going from hundreds of flights a day to none.
None.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine that.
Well, I did last time I went for a job, right? So at the time I was 16 years with the one company. Do you remember back in like 1999? My God. That long ago, if you wanted a job, you would go into your local Serena Rosso or whatever, 100%. And you would sit with someone. Nah, that wasn't the way. So it was rubbish, because I had to pretend to be okay with losing a job, but also going, how the hell do I find a new one? And I can't even leave the house.
Yeah.
So to like, I thought that was really tough. But then so with that time, I didn't want me sobbing in front of the children to be their only memory.
Yeah.
So I sat them down at the table of a night time and I said, right, this bedtime story we've been telling for the last 5 years, which we did. Mm-hmm. We told it at camp stories and all this. I said, right, we're going to write it, we're going to illustrate it, and this is what we're going to do together. And it's funny because looking back, my boys with lockdown remember creating our books that have now sold all around the world. That was their memory. They don't really talk about the times I was sobbing all day or the times I felt like a loser or the time I felt like I let my family down. Like that's shit. And then like months later, like Ryan, I can relate. My husband had a life-threatening heart attack and almost didn't come home. So he was only, well, he's had multiple heart attacks. He was born with a crappy heart. We knew because he was 32 when he had his first. He's now, he had a big one when he was 42 that same year of COVID. And just when I thought life was shit, it got shitter. And I put my thoughts pen to paper and I journaled. And it turns out that turned into a manuscript for my adult book, which, so when I look back, so my husband's now 44, when you look at my socials, it's all sunshine and rainbows, but it came from crap. And you look back and you go, you know what? I could have wallowed in such heartbreak, and I'm glad I didn't because we've now created something where I'm talking to a podcast to two amazing gentlemen, one who's a bloody screenwriter doing amazing things, and one who's learning to live with trauma himself, who's inspiring others. So that's a win, isn't it?
It is. And can I just ask, is your husband okay now?
He has heart failure. So it's like we live with it. But he's beautiful. Oh, my gosh. He's like, you know that time you said with your person who didn't want to go to the therapy because they he didn't want to go to any of the heart clinics because he said, Lauren, everyone there is 80 plus. I got no one I can relate to. This is BS.
I get it.
Yeah. And he's like, but he's honestly, to meet him, you wouldn't know because he's someone he's like a shark. He swims forward. He doesn't want to look back and he lives every day. So excited to be here and he's amazing.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. And if I could offer one piece of advice for him, I went through that as well in terms of a lot of amputees when I was there were older people, diabetes eating away the foot. There was very few people that were around my age except for my roommate. What I did is I jumped on Facebook and joined a couple of support groups for amputees. So if he's feeling like that, there's no one around his age dealing with the same thing. If he jumps on, he probably already done it, but look for the support pages because 100% I've found some great friends from those pages. So it's just a little bit of advice if he's feeling low and feeling like, wow, I'm going through what people in their 80s and 90s are going through. I guarantee you that if you jump on Facebook to one of the support groups, there'll be at least one person that's the same age or younger and that he could probably relate to.
Yeah.
And that's all I would say.
Yeah, no, you are exactly right. There are some lovely people out there.
100%. There's some assholes in this world too, but there's a hell of a lot of amazing people. Yeah. And they're the people who I spend my time with, not the others. So
it does put it in perspective.
Yeah. 100%. Well, what was the name of your adult book, by the way?
Land Angels. And
cool, because I'm Googling it right now.
Oh, yeah, no, Google it. No,
I do all this, like, if I ever look like I'm not paying attention, I am. But, I'm always looking at the books.
I so badly want to spoil it for you. Am I allowed to?
Well, what's it about?
It's exactly
tell us about it.
It's exactly what's happened to our family. It's actually spoken about a woman who talks about intuition and talks about her angel guiding her through life, but actually the angel is the family dog. because I'm not going to cry right now or anything, but it's more like I can't believe the healing powers of dogs.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when people came to visit us, all my children, and like I live in the world's smallest house, like 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, itty bitty living space. You know, my boys, no matter if you sat them outside to play, all they heard, you know, visit after visit was how much their dad might not have been here, how we had a 50-50 chance of coming home that night. And to distract them, we bought a dog. And oh my gosh.
Oh, nice.
Oh, she
What
healed
kind?
us. A dumpster puppy.
Oh, okay, good. I love animals more than I love people, except for a few people.
My dog is from
I've got 2, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
What dog do you have?
I'm not allowed to have dogs because we rent, but I have 2 beautiful cats who I consider my daughters. One of them has been absolutely an angel. She sleeps because at the moment I can't get into a bed, so I have this couch that I got through the NDIS worth about $5,000, which reclines all the way. It's got heating and stuff in there for the pain. So I sleep out in the lounge room, which is awesome because I can game till like freaking 2 o'clock in the morning, which is great. But yeah, I have one cat, Mavis, who will sit on me and sleep on me, and it's like she's protecting me. And
yes.
and my anxiety flies out the window when she's sitting on me. And she's looking at me right now going, "Stop talking about me, Dad." But yeah, they're my I can so relate to the animal therapy side of things.
Yeah.
So I get you there.
My dog's from the Wacol Centre, the RSPCA Centre,
yeah.
and she looks big and mean. She makes me look like I have cocaine up my ass, but I don't. Like she's really friendly.
She's protective.
Yeah, she was just like a dumpster puppy that was literally found in a dumpster, and she bonded with us immediately. And it's funny how she's healed all of us. So the kicker of the story, sorry, spoiler alert, is
That's fine.
the angel in the house is our dog.
Oh. Well, look, you can't see, but I have your book. I'm not going. Well, as I said, money's tight for us, but this was on Kindle Unlimited in Australia, so I can read your book for free. And I'm sorry, I hope you get some. Do you get money from that if I download it?
Per page or something.
Yeah, well,
so
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll read it in a night, so you should get some money out of that.
Well, it's more like, Ryan, I'm with you. I've met so many people whose stories, oh my gosh, my story's not the worst out there. Holy crap. Like, I'm not trying to be, you know, woe is me. There's lots of worse people out there than me. But I'm not in it for the money like you. I'm in it to say, hey, look what happened to me and look what I've done with it, and you can do it too. You don't have to look back and have like complete heartbreak. Yes, deal with it. Yes, recognize your thoughts. Yes, acknowledge them. But good can come out of bad. Really.
100%. 100%. I can agree. Mine and Steph's relationship, even though, you know, I'm a gay man and she's my best friend, we still say we're soulmates just because I'm gay and she's straight. We were married for 10 years. And she stuck by me through everything when I came out and everything like that. She stuck by me. There was obviously she had a moment where like she got a little bit heartbroken, but our relationship has never been stronger. And then when this happened, like I've helped her a lot with a lot of problems that she's had, but this is the biggest thing that's happened to both of us. And she's right by my side. She has moments where she gets upset and I get that, but she's always by my side. So that 100%, my relationship with her, my relationship with my friends, my 4 good friends. And the only reason I know that is because when this happened, okay, all right, I had something like 600 friends on Facebook from the band days and from everything like that. When this happened and I put it on Facebook that it happened because people were asking where I was, 4 people messaged me. Jamie, Chris, Michael, and a close friend that I had from high school named Scott, who is absolutely amazing. 4 people. And I used to have mind you, none in my band. None of my old band reached out to me and say, how you doing? Like, how are you? All that kind of stuff. That's cool. I don't hold grudges. I'm not pissed at that. I'm fine with that because everyone's got shit going on in their life. But yeah, I can totally agree that good things come out of bad situations. And I've lost about 40 kilos, which is amazing. Without even trying. I'm sorry. I'm sitting on my ass all day. I don't control my food, so I have to think. But also, I've being in hospital and stuff. My metabolism slowed down a bit, so I'm happy with that. My relationship with the guys and with Jamie and Michael and Chris and with Steph has just gotten so much stronger with the support that they give me, keeps me up. And that showed me what true friendship really is, because you never know what friendship is until you go through a hard time like this. And they could easily have just said, hey, like we have a D&D group that we do monthly, and I had to miss 6 months because I was in hospital, in and out of hospital. But you know what? 2-3 weeks ago, we had a session, picked it up like it was nothing happened. So they could have easily gone on and done something else, found someone else, but they didn't, because they care about me. And that is something good that has come out.
The real reason
that too. But I was trying to, Jamie, I was trying to talk you up and make it more emotional and stuff like that. But but still, you know what I mean? It's amazing things can come out of tragedy if you want them to happen. If you're willing to not just sit there and go, I'm going to sit in this chair forever and I'm going to die. If you say, no, I want to live my life, great things will happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan has done the most talking in this podcast.
I know, I'm sorry.
I like it. I thought it's all worked well together.
No, it's good. Just tell us a little bit about the lolly shop, because you mentioned it was a family bonding experience.
Story kind of thing. Yeah.
What's it about? A lolly shop, I take it?
Yeah. Well, okay. So, yeah. I mean, look, if I had my time over, sure. The title's not great, but it is 100% authentic to myself and my 2 boys. My husband worked night shift for many years, and how I would put them to bed was, because, again, we 2-bedroom house, so they share a room. I'd put their beds together, and when they were about 2 and 4 roughly, I would talk about, if you had a magic lolly, what magic, and like they would take turns, what magic would it be, what flavour would it be, what colour would it be, and then what mischief would you do? Like, and this happened for years. And because like when we published the story, they were 6 and 8. So like we did campfire stories. It just went on this tangent of the boys owning this lolly shop with all this magical candy, and if they could fly or teleport or float in bubbles or swim underwater or climb buildings like a gecko, all those scenarios would come across with mischievous situations. So once I lost my job and I went, you know what, screw this, I can't wallow in it anymore. I said, boys, right, well, I'm here now. What character name is this? And what do you think this person's going to look like? And I'm not going to lie, like they were like 6 and 8. So the attention span was not great. But we had every day to work on it. And if I could, can I quickly show you them?
Yeah, go for gold.
Yeah, go for sure.
Well, there's now 3 in the series. Nice. So Lolly Shop 1, Lolly Shop 2, and Lolly Shop 3, right? But if you have a look, like my children drew these guys, right? Like just
so
super
good.
Basic. Like, we're not Picasso, but I don't give a shit, because like, what if you're buying this book? What you're buying is a mum with 2 boys who put up a storyline, who did something with a really shitty situation, not in it for money or anything like that, but just to promote the value of storytelling. Because if I don't want to know what life would have been like if we didn't have this, because we had this way before COVID shut on the aviation industry. And it's now part of us. My boys have been on a New York podcast the Little Leaders podcast, where they were interviewed by Tina Shepherdson, who was so intrigued that they believed in their story so much that they sat with their mum and created it. And my boys got a little bit of a kick out of it. We worked at the Charleville Save the Bilby Day, where because one of the characters is a Bilby, we stock the books there. I send them the books for free, and 100% of the book sales goes to the Bilby Foundation.
Awesome.
It's one of these things where the boys are now so happy it's part of them.
Yeah.
Wherever it goes from here, it goes. But we're so grateful for it.
That's awesome.
How old are you boys now?
high school and year 5. Well, the reason why I say high school, he acts
are they that motivated now that they want to do more in the writing, like in the writing industry?
Actually, a screenwriter is working with us to put the Lolly Shop Book 1 into a screenplay.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, yes, but then I've learned just because you have a screenplay doesn't mean it's option.
Yes.
No, but it's a step. It's another step. And you know, it's someone telling you that they think that this is good enough to be on TV or the big screen. And to me, that is, even if it never happens, someone thought, that's going back to what I was saying about us getting recognition for authors, someone thought it was good enough for that, and that's amazing.
And the boys now, so the screenwriter said, yes, boys, you thought about this when you were 6 and 8. You're now 12 and 10, right?
Yeah.
If you could change anything, what would you change? Because putting it on a screenplay is your chance, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So the boys have now gone back to it with their great adult brains, and I've gone, keep it PG. But yeah, it's well and truly our journey. It's well and truly where we're at. It's great. It's so much fun. That's
awesome. It actually reminds me, there's a comic book writer in America called Ethan Nicole, and he did a comic book. His father remarried and had another kid who was like 6. He was like 6 years old, and he was like 29 or something. And they'd play together in the backyard, and they'd do these weird games like, oh, I'm Axe Cop, you know? And it's just like, and then he'd go home and he would draw it. And so basically the whole comic was written by a 6-year-old, but it was drawn in the style and it got turned into a
TV show?
Yeah.
Well, my eldest has just walked through the door. Can I have him?
Go for gold.
Hey, Bax. And that's actually his name in the book. Firstly, put the light on because, you know, Father Time's not nice. No, the other light, love. The other light. Yeah, no, other button.
Welcome to the light show.
Live in a crappy house. Technology's not that great. Baxter, you are speaking to two people who have learnt about our Lolly Shop book, how we created it and how we drew and how it's been part of our lives. And you were on a New York podcast for it. Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, mate. How you going?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're a veteran at these now, I hear, with doing the podcast of New York and everything. We're just from Western Sydney. Come on. So did you enjoy writing the books with Mum and your brother?
Yeah, it was really fun. I love waking up and then illustrating the Lolly Shop. It was really fun.
So were you the main illustrator? So you were the drawer of the group?
Me and Ethan were.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They mainly did it. Yeah.
And we like to break news here. I was talking to your mum. Are we going to expect a 3rd volume, or is that still hush hush at the moment?
There's 3 in the series.
Oh, okay. Are we going to expect a 4th volume?
Yeah.
Do you want to do more? You want to do more?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is it something you want to do when you grow up?
Is this something you want to do when you grow up? In the shot, darling.
I would like to become an architect and a model.
Yeah.
But also, yeah.
Will your first building be a lolly shop?
Maybe.
and then you can sell your books in the lolly shop about the lolly shop, and also sell lollies in the lolly shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be something that I would definitely be up for. But I hope you keep at it, man, because you're doing a really great job working with your brother and your mum. I heard that you guys have been optioned for a screenplay, which is amazing. Keep it up, man. For such a young age, you've achieved so much already. Just keep going, ride the wave, keep writing, keep having fun. That's what we say, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy.
Sweetheart.
Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you. All right. So just please be quiet.
We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up.
Love you right here.
We got the mum voice there. Now please be quiet.
I was waiting for a candy cane to pull him off.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Play him off.
Okay,
Play
so
him off.
we
No,
know
'cause I
that
sent
obviously
them
you've got.
I sent them outside,
Yeah.
and now he's come back in. I thought, well, while we're talking, I
No,
thought,
I know. You know what? We're pretty chill.
Definitely.
We're pretty free flowing.
We're not the kind that will just say no. That's interview over. But as you would say, obviously you've got three volumes in the Lolly Shop. Are you working on anything at the moment?
Yes, yeah, we are. So we're, of course, piecing together book 4. I have been also submitting to other publishers who are now sort of interested in what we're doing.
Awesome.
I figure, why not see where this train goes? I'm starting to write other things about other situations that we've kind of been through, not just that main situation with my husband. So why not? Let's just Lauren Unleashed, hey? Let's see where this goes.
Well, all it's going to cost you is your time.
Yeah.
And if you're passionate for it, the time will mean nothing. You know what I mean? Like you could. I was talking to Martin Kearns, and there'd be times where he'd start writing, and he'd get that into his writing that he'd look at the clock at 7 o'clock at night, and then he'd look at the clock at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he feels like and then you look at what he's achieved in that period, because he can. All it's going to cost is your time. Yeah. And if you can make something like the Lolly Shop books, or like the other book, which I'm going to dive into tonight, if you can do that and keep going and still live your life, then why not?
Yeah, but don't let my children know they can stay up till 2 a.m. drawing.
No. This is if your children are watching, this is for adults that are in their 40s that are allowed to stay up till 2 a.m. writing.
You can
Thank
do whatever.
you, Uncle Ryan.
you can do whatever you want once you turn 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're in America, that's 21.
Yeah, 21. 21 in America. But yeah, awesome. Okay, so now what we're going to do before, I hate to say we do have to wrap it up, but what we want you to do, plug yourself, socials, YouTube, website. Where can we buy your book? I know you can get it on Amazon. I know you've got a website as well, so plug everything.
Right. LBE Hackney is Lauren Baxter, Ethan Hackney, because no child is going to remember Lauren Baxter and Ethan Hackney. We just condensed it. So LBE Hackney, that is us. Find us on Instagram, lbe.hackney. Find me on YouTube interviewing authors, podcasters, illustrators, publishers even, because, look, I want to know more about this industry. So if you want to know more too, tune into some of those videos. Hopefully you find them useful. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to know as well, because, we're all in this together. We all want to learn. And also Facebook is facebook.com/thelollyshop, which is our very first socials. So as
awesome.
much as it says the Lolly Shop, we do have Land Angels in there and a few other bits and pieces as well. This is how I learn.
Awesome. 100%. All of that information will be in the show notes, guys. Thank you very much for coming on, Elle Hackney. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry I was talking a lot, and I loved Ryan's story. Ryan, thank you.
Look, as I said, we don't worry about the talking, because that's why you're here. We have the way that we schedule our podcast. We have 5 icebreakers, which have got nothing to do with your books and YouTube, and then we just have a chat. That's why we used to call it story chat, because I find the podcasts that I listen to, and I listen to a lot, the ones that just have a conversation that sound like it's just a couple of mates sitting around a table, they're so much better than reading, where did you start? What did you do? Blah, 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 blah. We have a guideline, but mainly, as you can see, we completely go off track. Yeah. But today, it was not my fault. It was Lauren's fault. So Jamie, will take no responsibility this time. And feel free to edit out all my sappy stories if you want. I don't mind.
I don't know. It's good content, man. We might get more downloads now.
Yeah.
I might get some more fellow disabled people going, yeah, let's go,
Someone call Netflix. Brian has a story.
I'll call it Getting Real with Ryan and Elle Hackney.
Well, I see, now that I stay up till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning every Wednesday when you schedule the podcast to be released, I'm literally going on Facebook going, okay, share, and I'm half asleep. So I know I always do midnight when it goes live. I always share it at about the same time because I'm still wide awake.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
Yes, I do have one more question before we sign off. You know, we were talking a lot about gaming and stuff like that. Did you ever get into that kind of stuff at all? When you were younger, or now, or just to sort of take your mind off things?
I want to stay relevant with my boys. So I've actually gotten into gaming because I've learned if you can't beat them, join them. And I suck at everything, but I'm happy to watch them play their games, and I do the Mario Kart with them. I bought Tetris because I thought Tetris Pew Pew or whatever on PS5, I thought that was amazing, and no one plays it. So I actually don't mind it. I'm just not that good at it. So I want to stay relevant with my boys. I'm happy to watch them play it.
That's exactly what my mum used to do, and that's why I get lots of nostalgia out of doing that. Like I try and force Steph to stay out here and watch me for a little while, but she's got her own game stuff and everything. But I tell you, I can totally relate to you. If you practice, you get better, and I can totally relate. Because I'm playing a game at the moment, a really old one from when I was a child, Final Fantasy VII. And I used to remember that there's an area called Midgard, which is like, you spend almost the whole first disc trapped in this one area until you get out into the world. Now, I remember being a little kid, and that would take me a month of solid playing. And then I'm playing it now as a 42-year-old. It took me 3.5 hours to get out of Midgard. No speed running. Completing all the obstacles, getting all the achievements, took me 3 hours. And I'm like, man, I was shit when I was younger, but I'm the bomb right now.
Did you have an Atari? Because I had an Atari, and I played
I'm old enough to have an Atari.
Commando. Yeah. I played Frogger. I played California Games, River Raid.
Nice. River Raid. That was the one and only game that my mum would play on the Atari was River Raid. And me and my dad and her would always take the Atari away when we went on holidays with my sister. And we would have competitions at night, man. Those were the times.
These are my people, Ryan. These are my people.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for Jamie's 40th because I think we're all going away and playing Skyrim all weekend.
I don't know. I really should be start thinking about it. It's only 2 months away. But back in 2011, it would have been 2011. A Skyrim game came out, and me, Chris, and another friend, Michael. We got 3 PlayStation. I think it was PlayStations. Yeah, 3 PlayStations, 3 televisions in one room. We all had headset, and we just played Skyrim for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And
I'm so sorry that I didn't. I knew you back then for game. I knew you back then, but only in the band play. But I would have loved that, man. So that's awesome.
It did our heads in, man. We were just like outside going, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Sunlight.
Yeah, we was up.
Yeah. Did anyone have Sega Lock On? I had Sega Lock On.
No, I actually did. I had a Mega Drive. I had Game Gear. I had a Master System. I'm old enough.
So Sega Lock On was where you wore the special glasses, and it was like laser in the 90s.
Oh
no, I don't think I remember that.
Dude, it's worth a Google. I had Sega Lock On. Do it, Ryan. Okay. Do it. Okay. Google it.
I will. I most certainly will. Because I was proud that I had every gaming system from the original Nintendo. My grandmother bought it at her. It was so funny. She thought she wanted to get me the latest game. She got me some Bible game where I had to follow the steps of a Bible. No offense, Joe. I know you're religious, Jamie, but it was a game where you had to. There was even when you went into the whale. I know
the one.
And I'm not too familiar. I'm not familiar with I'm an atheist, so I don't follow anything like that. But I do remember having a lot of fun playing that game, though.
There was a game, I never played it, but I can't remember, but it was one where you throw Bibles at people.
Yes.
And their health bar goes down, and then they kneel, and they go,
yes. That was it on the original Nintendo. And my grandmother was so proud of it, and God bless her, I love her so much, she'd passed on, but she would get me, I would pretend it was the best thing in the world. And then she bought me Super Mario Brothers 3, and then I spent all school holidays over there finishing that bad boy. So I had every system growing up. I don't think there was one I missed. At the moment, I have a PS5. I have a Nintendo Switch. I just don't have the Xbox because it's not really worth it. But yeah, it's so much nostalgia, man. Like at the moment, playing Final Fantasy VII, which is a game that came out in 1997. When Steph goes to bed and I'm out here by myself, I I'm reliving it, man. But because it's got trophies on PlayStation. I'm now like, I need to platinum this bad boy. I need to get it. Yeah, that's right. And every time I get a little award, it's so good.
Ryan, you don't need a time machine from Elon Musk. You're playing a time machine.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. The only thing I would do if I had a time machine is, as I said, JFK, first WrestleMania. I might go back to my younger self and say, hey, dude, just chill out on the snacks. Because I'm no offense, like I weighed myself, I'm 120 kilos. 10 years ago, I was 270 kilos. So it's been a long journey to do that. But I would go back to little Ryan in preschool, just stick with the apple instead of the twisties, just so you can have a better, healthier life. That's all I would say. Hopefully he would listen to me, or just think I'm full of shit and just keep eating. Yeah. We've got to make mistakes.
Words to live
I will say, if I didn't weigh that much, I never would have had the achievement of losing that much. So,
well, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy with that. I have everything I need in terms of nostalgia. I have everything. I look over here and I've got all my amazing gifts that my friends have bought me over the years, and all my comics, my Blu-rays, everything. I've got what I need. Who needs millions of dollars, man? Money doesn't buy everything, but if you have nothing, you can make nothing into something. And that's what I truly believe.
I think that's a good quote to end on right there.
Let's end on that because we'll keep going.
Otherwise, we'll have to record a whole another section. I don't know. I'll have to split it in two or something. Anyway, guys, you know the deal. If you're an author and you want to come on, if you're a filmmaker and you want to come on, if you're just some random dude from down the street and you want to come on, thetrueandthefictional at gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram, stories_podcast. We're on Facebook and all that. And once again, welcome Martin Kearns as our sponsor. Go check out his stuff. And once again, thank you for coming on, LBE Hackney. And
thank you.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.
Thank you.